All right, so welcome everybody. This is a super exciting speaker success training, and we're exploring is where do we fit in this AI world? If you're like me and some of the comments we've read already here today, it's coming in fast and hard like a big tidal wave and kind of tripping us up. And the headlines say that we're no longer have a place and it's going to be replacing us. So, um, from a conversation with Rosa recently, who is one of our lifetime legacy members. It was really intriguing because Rosa has been in technology for over 20 years. She's a software engineer, and in fact, she builds AI agents. So she has a real intimate relationship with them. She knows exactly what they can do, what they can't do. And what I really enjoyed about our conversation recently was she really dispelled the fear of what AI and what it means to us. And I really felt empowered after our conversation that I wasn't going to be replaced. So that was a really good thing. And so invited her to share her knowledge today and really help empower you too to answer that question of where do we fit in? So I would like to introduce you all to Rosa Antonini. Originally from the Dominican Republic, she now is New Jersey is her home. And uh, Rosa, I'm going to hand over the microphone to you now.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so excited about being here because it's two topics that I really enjoy talking about it. The technical field, and then I'm also an author. So bringing the two together is very important to me. So I'm going to start. And, if you have any questions, just add it in the chat. Don't wait so you don't forget. I'm going to be doing a presentation that is not going to take that long, but then I really want to answer the questions. I'm making sure that I can either point you to some tools that you can use or any questions that you might have. I will do my best to give you the information. And I also have a little handout that I will give at the end. So let me start here. So as Gail mentioned before, Gail, the presentation is good. Look, oh, I have to, hold on. I need to do something here. Let me stop sharing so I can have this in the proper, the view. So, okay, now to go back. I'm trying to do the presentation and share you with the full screen. That's what happened. It's coming. Okay, so let me move it here so I can do present. And hopefully you can now see this one. Okay, so how Gail mentioned it before, I've been in the technology field over 20 years of experience. And as part of my daily job, I look for problems and try to develop solutions that can improve the decision making for different business in the industry. I design data architecture. And then, the latest thing that we've been working on is actually with AI and building agents. And an agent is just, let's say, when it's almost like an assistant. You can see it like ChatGPT, for example, is an agent that manages a lot of data. So in a different industry now, everyone is building this agent that has specific capabilities to do things that will improve or is hoping to improve some processes, like when you make a call. And let's say instead of having a big delay on getting an answer to your question, well, these agents are a lot faster in processing the information to try to give you that information to you a lot faster than maybe what you are used to up to this point. So that is one of the advantage of AI. Now, the question comes, how do we stay relevant if these agents, let's say, and I'm mentioning agent just because it's one of the things that you can do with AI. So when I say agents and AI, it's the same. It's just a tool. Today we have this tool that makes us a very important part in history. I see it because it's one of those moments where we are writing history. We are writing what is going to come after us, because the truth is life will be different after AI than what we know before AI. The way we do our job, the way we learn, the way we connect, all of those things are evolving and changing with AI. So I think we are in a pivotal moment to take advantage. Yes, there is going to be some fear around, but to take advantage of what these changes are offering to us that are the first to consume it. So I want to leave you today with some takeaways from this conversation. The first one is I want us to shift the fear that, some of us experience when thinking about AI to a more empowered position of how we can use this tool to make our life easier and to implement it in the business or anything that is part of your goals right now. How can we take advantage of that? And I'm going to show you some things, or tell you some things to empower us to get to those goals that we have a little faster. The second one, I'm going to explain why I believe resourcefulness is one of the main capacity we can develop and enhance during this era. Also, what are the things that AI cannot replace? Once we know what AI cannot replace, then we can concentrate in those areas to take advantage of how we increase our value. And also, I'm going to leave you with some practical questions that are relevant to stay adaptable and, again, take advantage of these different AI tools are coming up in the market. So one of the things that I keep hearing, and it happens in my industry, and I work in technology. So everybody knows how to code. They know the technology itself. So what I'm saying is for the technical field, they're familiar with this technology. So you would think, why there is so much fear? Because the thing is that technology has a lot of power, right? So many are asking, where do I fit now? And then the question goes not only to, is AI going to replace what I do in my job? Is it going to replace my job? To something a little more, let's say, complicated and complex that some are asking, would it replace me? Because now it's not just about my job. Now it's me as my identity. And those questions, those are the ones that we need to be careful, because it starts then creating this self-doubt of our own human capacity. So instead of thinking, will AI replace me, which is people fearing that they will become irrelevant, it's more like, what is the human capacity that is more important for me to develop as these technology are getting smarter? Because one of the things is that AI is not going to go away. And I have friends that when the technology started, evolving and, in a couple of years, some of them were very strong about, I'm not going to use it. I don't want it. And it was a lot of resistance, both in the technical field and other industries as well. By now, even though there are still people that don't want to embrace this, but the way I see it is that this technology is not going to go. It's not going to go. It's actually being scaling in a incredible speed. The things that can be built today, you couldn't think a year ago that you could build them. So that's how fast it's changing, right? So, but why do I believe resourcefulness is one of the main capacity we need to build now? Because resourcefulness strengthen our way of thinking, deciding, and it create movement when the path is not clear, which is what is happening right now, where many are asking, independent of the set of skill, how educated, non-educated, independent of what it is, the question is almost like standard question. It's affecting what we know. It's affecting the path that feels safe, right? Right now there is kids coming out of college, just finishing college after paying so much money. You know how expensive college is. And that is something, I don't know if you have seen the statistics, entry-level positions are really being affected by AI, because all those tasks that require less experience, these agents and different tools in, AI, they can do it. And companies are taking advantage of that because, of course, it's a lot cheaper. Now, that has another problem that we can discuss later on. But I'm just saying, the uncertainty is real. So I'm not going to say, oh, don't worry about it, everything is going to be fine. And no, because it's better to understand the facts and create a conscious decision. And yes, there is uncertainty, but uncertainty also brings a lot of opportunities. And that's where resourcefulness becomes that skill, how we see these opportunities and how we make it work to take advantage of this uncertainty that is happening all over, not just your industry, my industry, it's really everywhere. So resourcefulness is going to show us what is still possible. What do we do with what we have, where we are right now, without waiting? What can we try next? And also it keeps us in the loop of learning from those prior decisions. Some of the things that AI has, I feel like a speed up, is these 4 points of pressures that most company individuals are feeling today. One of them is everybody wants everything faster. It doesn't matter the cost, it's a pressure to make it faster, because that speed pressure goes together with the comparison pressure, because this company or this other person is doing it faster. They look like they're doing it better. What am I missing? What are they using? So, and this comparison pressure, we can see it in our professional arena, but it's not only that. If you see teenagers, college students, and anybody that have access to the social media, the comparison pressure is almost becoming a conditioning to everyone to feel that they are running behind, because you keep seeing what you're missing. Is always pointing out what you're missing, what you're lacking. Look, this person did it in 3 months. And then you start questioning yourself, what's wrong with me? Why I cannot get it done? I've been doing this 6 months. What is what they know? So that is almost like a design of just conditioning to feel behind. And that continual stress that goes between this speed and comparison. Then we discussed before a little bit of the identity, which I think is one of the one that can affect more the individual, because it goes from questioning the value of what you know and your skills, your experience, to question who you are, to the value that you bring. Do you still have value? Are you relevant? Are we really replaceable? Why? How am I going to continue my business? So it becomes that identity pressure as well. And then the decision making. These days we have a lot of information that to understand who is giving me the right information to make this decision can become a big challenge. Now, there are 3 shifts that I would like us to practice and to get from today when we are thinking about artificial intelligence. And one is, let's go from fear to inquiry, to questioning. And I'm going to go over each one of them. Let's go from feeling overloaded with all this data to use data with intention. And let's start taking that small step, even if it's very small, before we think we're ready. So when we say from fear to questioning, yes, instead of saying, will AI replace me? Well, let's change, like, what can I do? What are the things that I can expand to add more value? Because AI can take care of the things that are absorbing a lot of time in your life. So if we see AI and we learn just a subset of that, that can help us take those, let's say, administration tasks that are time consuming. You almost have to have this calendar in your head of the things you gotta do. You have to be doing a lot of research and, a lot of things. So even reminders. So if we, instead of thinking that it's a replacement, we see it as a helper that can take over the task that we don't want to do. So then you can spend more time creating, analyzing, and doing the things that bring more joy to, your job, your whatever it is what you are doing right now. So some of the issues around AI is not the technology itself. The technology, I think, is beautiful. It's so powerful. You can do things today that you couldn't imagine doing it before. So for example, I'll give you an example. Today, so before, to do something, any type of coding, you needed to learn how to code. I spent years learning programming, years learning how to do modeling, years learning and practicing to bring data together, to do a dashboard that can put the data in a certain way that can give you that analysis. Well, AI today, you don't need to spend all those years that I spent doing it myself. You don't. And now you can, in simple English, just using English, get your analysis and all that data at your fingertip, a lot easier. And that is power. That is power, empowering the regular user to have almost like if they have all this year of experience without ever going to college or learning any of those things, because at the end of the day, you just want your data. You just want to consume, squish the data so you can do the decision making without all those steps that before you needed to pay someone to build the system, to analyze the system, to code. You had to wait 3, 6 months, a year to see results. And maybe then you were not happy with the results and that will become a loss. Today, you can just change it right away. In an hour or two, you can make changes, adjust it, and have it working the way you want. Another use that I personally don't like how people are using AI is look at LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a professional network. I have a lot of, professional. I just post about professional in LinkedIn. And the people that I follow, everybody, in the industry, they have whatever they do, but, you respect your connections. But then I started seeing this post, very similar posts among different people, the same tone, similar words, similar stuff. And I knew they were just asking a question in AI and copying and pasting this into the post. And I felt, in a way, disrespect of my time. Because to me, if I want to read someone's post, if I'm taking the time to read that post, I want to hear that person. I want to know what that person stands for. If they agree with something, if they don't, if they want to share something of their own experience. I don't want to hear a summary from any AI tool, right? Because I can do that, anybody can do that. And then you see all these posts in LinkedIn So I stopped reading it. I just open a post and I kind of see the format and I stop. I don't read them. Again, that is not an issue with the technology itself, is the use that some people are doing with this technology. And one of the problem with that, and if we look back to, will AI replace me, replace my job? The way I see it is that those are the ones that will get replaced. The ones that are not using the tool today to bring, let's say, to free time that they can use for their creativity, right? And they're using it and becoming dependent of the technology. Because if they stop thinking about it, analyzing, and using their judgment, then they become dependent, that then they cannot write not even one line of thing without checking with AI. And at that moment, you're giving up your agency and you're giving up your what you stand for. You start being, self-doubting everything about yourself, because now, unless AI suggests this, I'm not going to do it. Another thing that happens with AI is that if you use a tool, often, remember, this technology is artificial intelligence because it's learning from your behavior, That means that if you are biased to something, as much as you interact with your tool, the tool is going to pick up your bias. It's going to pick up how you like to be talked to. It's going to like your type of data. So then you start giving you a very narrow vision if you use it that way. So again, that is one of the ways of how not to use those tools, because you want to broaden your perspective instead of making it narrow. So that is the first one, from fear to inquiry. Another one is from overload to intentional use. And what does this mean? Today, we have so much data. I mean, there is so much data. And there is so much bad data that looks like if it's correct data. So when you're doing any research, when you are trying to do any decision, remember the decisions that you're going to get if you're asking for a plan to any AI tool, for example, and the tool is already knows you and it knows the behavior, you might be leaving things out that could be useful because it's almost like customizing it for you. So that's why when you are doing with any AI, it's not about give me the answer. No, it's about questioning the tool and questioning to give you a different perspective. And you can actually ask them to behave as a board. You can ask an AI tool to behave as 3 different people in your board, that they all give you a different perspective of an idea that you want to troubleshoot. So like that, you don't get bias. Like that, you get completely opposite, statement from what you're looking for, that at least is going to make you think if there is something you missed in making that decision. Or if there is something that, oh, you know what, I haven't thought about it. So that is one of the things that is give you that advantage, because sometimes you might not have those, 2 people to bounce an idea, or 3 or 4, and you can have an AI that behaves like different avatar to give you those different scenarios, to give you sometimes different perspective of how a message is going to get received. And I have done sometimes that, like when I'm going to do a post, and let's say if the post is, if I'm not sure that the message is can be misunderstood, there is some stuff, or that you're doing a post that can have a sensitive area. So those, you just want to have someone that give a perspective because you're seeing it from your perspective. But that doesn't come from, oh, give me the answer for this. It comes by troubleshooting. You come with your idea, you write it. This is what you want. Then you just want a different perspective to that. But going back to the overload and intentional use, is because now there is so much data around that one of the human capacity and resourcefulness, of course, is there, is to be able to filter, because now as leaders, as anything that you want to, let's say, create and be more productive, a lot is going to come with how much you can filter the data to use so you can make the right decision. Before it was lack of data. Now there is too much data and including bad data. And then the next one is not to, or the thought that you need to wait until you are ready. I can tell you these AI tools, they are multiplying. Like, it's like, I remember learning something like 6 months ago, and you think you have an idea, and you come back, by the time you're implementing, that might be relevant already. Because now there is another tool that can do it faster or can already do it. And so things are moving so fast that none of us will ever be able to say, oh, we know everything about it. Right? So you just take one little step. Not only that, you will get completely overwhelmed if you try to learn and absorb so much information, because once there are too many tools, there are too many ways. So it's more about, don't let AI drive your ideas. You control the narrative. So you can ask AI based on what you need. Then based on that, you take one little step. You try one tool. They are like so many out there. You start with one. They're all very similar. The moment that you learn one, you pretty much are going to be able to use any of the other ones. There are some specific ones for different use. You test the message, you adjust it, you learn from it. This is in the book I mentioned about constraint and how you learn to constrain. That is a big topic. So we go on that at another time. So AI can shape a decision, and this is one of the difference coming to what are the things AI cannot replace, and it will never replace. And even though AI can simulate, it has empathy, and AI can mimic, and a person can feel that they care for them somehow, but that is not true, right? So AI can shape, help make a decision, but you, me, we are the one that have to own the decision. We are the one that, if you have a team, if you are building a product, if you have clients, you are the one that build that trust. The AI cannot build trust. The AI cannot judge. The AI can give you many choices. And especially if it's biased based on certain data that is consuming, you have to make the judgment. You have to use your judgment to make the call of what is really what makes sense to you. And also, we are the one accountable for any decision. So AI, and you can test that with any AI tool. You can say, whatever, give me the answer for this ABC, blah, blah, blah. And then it's going to give you something. And then just try it back and say, oh, but I don't think that's going to work. And just say that. And you're going to see how right away it's going to say, you're right. It's not going to work because blah, 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 blah. So it's very malleable, right? So when you are using any of these tools, one of the things that you can start from the beginning is don't give me a diverse opinion, or give me all the data, or data that is that I can trace. Show me the link. Show me the source of the data that you're making this decision. So like that, you take, if you give you 10, 20 links, even if you don't check all of them, but check some, many of them, just to make sure that the data is correct. And based on that, so it's saving you all the time of you going to all these different sources to see what to trust, what not to trust, because AI can give you that, can give you reliable information, and it can flag information that is not reliable as well. But it's all based on you questioning the AI and having your perspective, your creativity first, like you driving the process. And let's say AI is a little employee that you have, someone that is helping you, and at least you don't have to pay for that. So let me see. Okay, so these are, sorry, I cannot see my whole screen here. So these are some of the takeaways I want us to have today, which is, I believe strongly that resourcefulness is the advantage. It's one of the main advantages that we can make AI work for us, because otherwise you will have to be hiring teams to do the work that you can get today from AI. Fear can become useful the moment we turn into a question. So it's not about, will AI replace me? Let's change that to, how can I use AI to increase my value, to get my message heard? Whatever it is, the area of work that you have, whatever is your goal, we also have different goals. But question it from that perspective. See it as a helper. See it as a tool that nobody thought they could have this today. And we are so lucky really to have it. I mean, are there going to be people that are going to be misusing it? Yes. Will people become dependent of this and stop using the brain maybe how they should? Unfortunately, yes. But what's going to make the difference is those that use the creativity, the judgment, and then you use this as a tool that works for you. Another one is that AI can inform the decision, but we have to stand behind it. They cannot own any decision. And like I mentioned it, if you question the decision to AI, it's going to flip it right back at you. So just remember, you are owning that. Don't take it for granted. It's following your script, basically. And before you hand, this is, I think, the most important one. Before you hand a task to AI, take a break and ask, which part of this task need my judgment? Because something as simple as that LinkedIn post that I mentioned, for many out there, something as simple as that, you can see the result, basically the impact that it has. For me to stop reading posts of people that before I would read anything that they post, to now just keep it because of the, already the impression that the person is not there, that it's just being AI generated. So make sure that the task, whatever it is, and even if it's small or big, what part needs your judgment? Some stuff are wonderful. AI is wonderful to summarize, to gather information, to give you a different perspective, to help you troubleshoot your ideas, to help you analyze your audience, to help you, like let's say if you do a post, I give you something very simple. You do a post in social media and the post doesn't perform well. You can pass that information to AI and say, what's wrong? And it will give you a very good perspective about timing of the post, how people understood the post, if something was missing, what is the audience for the post, if you were missing a good hook about, how they said the question, all of those. So it can give you, those are things that before I spent a lot of money trying to get people to help me. This is my second book. So in the first book, that it was the first one that I did, very new. I'm a software engineer. That's what I do. That's my job. Completely new into this area. I didn't have social media. Didn't have any of that. So, I was new. I started trusting anybody that will say to me, send me a message. Oh, I can help you gain followers. So I will help you marketing this. Oh, you want sales for the book? Oh, yes. Just send me 500, 1,000, whatever. I was new. I didn't know. And guess what? AI was not there. If AI had been there, it wouldn't be the same story. But I did lose money trusting that those things worked just because I didn't have the knowledge and there was nothing around. So you needed to trust that. So that is one of the advantages of AI. You can have a very good feedback of something that you are doing. You just always have to keep your judgment and your creativity and make sure that you're using it as a helper for, everything that you do. Because at the end of the day, AI may increase and will increase your capacity to produce, but resourcefulness increase how we respond. So it's not the tool, it's how we respond to, how to use this tool. So we're at the time of question. I hope this was helpful. I didn't want to give you so many slides because then, people get tired. So I would rather just to make it into a conversation and be able to, answer any questions that you might have.
Yeah, you can go ahead and open your microphone. Maybe if you want to stop sharing your screen, Rosa, we
Yes.
can start to see people.
Yeah.
I know it's generating a lot of thought to me as you were talking. So let's begin. I mean, you have an expert here who develops these agents. What kind of questions do you have? Just go
Heather?
ahead. Yeah, Heather, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Well, first of all, thank you to, I apologize, the name?
Rosa.
Rose.
Rosa. Thank you so much for the information. It was very helpful. And what I received from it was because I have dabbled in AI, doing pictures. It helped me write my business plan, getting charts, things of that nature, and ideas and whatnot. Yet, in just writing down all the information that I learned from it, I didn't know that you could get different perspectives from it. That was something that blew me away. So that in itself is good. And the fact that you made it very clear AI cannot replace compassion or empathy or anything of that nature, which comes from spirit or whatever you choose to call it, and how to embrace it. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. I was looking
Thank you.
forward to this. I will tell you that I
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
enjoyed
Thank you.
it really well. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear it. If I can minimize the fear, because you see, it's like everything that had happened over history. If you see over history, when every time that there was a new technology, there was always fear. It has always been fear. Before any breakthrough of history, always come with that fear, that before and after. But at the same time, it brings all those opportunities because it's like right now we are the first one that can use this technology different. It's new, right? So that's what fear becomes in this almost magic box of possibilities. So anyway, yes, it's exciting times.
Good.
Can I
It has
can I
fear,
say
of course,
something?
but it's exciting times.
Barbara?
Patricia.
Yeah.
Barbara
Hi.
next. Barbara has her hand up.
Barbara, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I just recently, just yesterday, actually, experimented with using AI to help me restructure the book I'm writing. I've been headed down the wrong path, as Gail knows. She encouraged me to stop working with the book coach I'd been working with, and I did that in February. So it's just been sitting there. And basically, I realized I was creating a memoir romance, travel log kind of book, which wasn't what I really wanted to be creating. I really want to be creating a book that motivates women to take bold action.
Mhm.
So I've been using AI tools to have it look at what I've got and help me restructure, figure out what to throw out. And I have to say, I'm really excited. I made it very clear yesterday when I was interacting. You don't know whether to call it a him or a her or an it. It's like, what is this? I have no idea. But I said, this book has to be in my words because this is a personal story, my personal experience. And it came back and said, I get that. I totally get that. And I won't write anything that isn't your words and that you don't. If it's my words, I'll tell you which words those are and you approve them. So, but I'm like, it's making it, I guess I never realized the degree to which you can direct it.
Mhm.
And like, I guess it can take over if you let it, but you can remain in control of the project, or, so I'm just learning. I don't know what I'm doing yet. It did write some stuff for me overnight. I mean, it took it 2 seconds. Obviously, I didn't see it till this morning, but I don't like everything about it. So I'm going to edit it so that we get closer to my voice,
Good
so
point.
that it is able to reproduce my voice.
Yeah.
And
So
go ahead.
go ahead. I'm just gonna caution a little bit about that because it sounds like it's giving you too much and you are receiving and edited, and it should be more the other way around it.
Well, it
Because
edited it worked off of my work.
yeah, but
It was
you can
already my
ask,
work that I gave it.
yeah, you can ask and say, I want you to behave as a writing coach. Give
Okay.
me and ask questions. Ask to ask you questions about how to make the work better. Because what you want is to come out better and more empower yourself. Like,
Right.
let's say you don't want, and I understand, but it's not going to be the difference. Let's say, okay, the book is done, it has your voice, versus the book is done and you grew all this much while doing it because you implemented specific techniques that you learned by having a very good writing coach. So
Mm.
that's what I mean when you say that you get feedback and you make the news almost like you're the CEO, but you have this board of members. So you can act and actually can give you more than one perspective. And I really suggest you do that because that's what eliminates it becomes biased with your voice. If it's always talking like to you as one person that you're making a connection, it's gonna basically just be giving you the same that you're giving back. It becomes so much like your personality that you're gonna feel good about it because it feels like you, but that's not what you want. You want to control everything about the narrative. So make it work for you. Make it into a team. Tell them that, listen, you're going to behave as my writing coach, my communication skill coach, and ooh, I need my batteries. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I didn't notice. Okay, good. So you're speaking coach on whatever it is that might be, and that you learn so much. I am from the Dominican Republic, right? And I've been working so many years in technology that I don't need to use English. So for me, English was always like, I don't know, I felt like I was wasting time, really. That's the reality. I thought I was wasting time because I thought, oh my God, there is so much to learn. I have so much to learn. And for me to spend time trying to manage, to just learn to speak better English, I thought, wow, this is time that is wasting for all these things that I wanted to learn. It's tough to learn instead of just the same. So being in computers, I speak computer language. I code. I don't need to be speaking beautiful sentences and whatever. Then came the first book that I did that was an inspiration, helped me help other people. And that was something that became a goal for me. But one of the things that I have used AI is to have it as a speaking coach. Did I do this? I had it as a speaking coach to me and to give me feedback as a speaking coach. And the thing is, before I tried that with people and it doesn't work, let me tell you, it's so good telling you, oh, you're using too much. Try to it gives you techniques like when you don't find, read it back to you, go in the mirror, repeat it. But there is a lot of information. I'm still don't give the importance, as you can hear most likely the way I speak, but it's a very good tool that you can use using it as a coach. And not as one single coach, use it as two constructing coach. Because what you want, and the reason why I say you always have to be in the driver's seat, you want to see the different point of views, and then you make the decision. You make the decision, what is what you one, whatever the decision, if it's the book that you're writing, or if it's a draft that you need to send someone, or if it's, I don't know, marketing. Like, for example, in my last book, Resourcefulness, it helped me to create a marketing strategy. Now, was it perfect? I don't know if it was perfect, but I didn't have to pay. With the first book, I wasted so much money and I didn't see any results. At least with this one, I got a book signing in Barnes and Noble. I have another one that is going to happen, I think, next month. And those were suggestions of things to do based on marketing strategy, right? And what to do, the steps to follow. So that's what I'm saying, to treat it as a team of contrasting point of views instead of just telling you something that you want to hear.
Great. And just before we go to Patricia, Rosa, maybe just in the interest of time, maybe you can give us a quick overview of what's available to us, because this is such a massive topic. And I know you've been doing a lot of work in there with your books. Maybe give us a brief overview of the book and where we can find the book, or if you're doing any workshops, things like that, just to and you said you had a handout for us, right? So
Yes,
I
I
want to
have
make
to
sure I
share.
get that for everybody. And then we can continue on with these great questions.
Yeah, so this is the book, Resourcefulness. It just came out in June. You can find it Barnes and Noble, Amazon, all the stores. There is going to be actually a promotion, the Kindle promotion on the 22nd. You can buy it for 99 cents, the Kindle version. That's on the 22nd, right? I think it's the 22nd. Yes. And this book, that book is not just about AI. In this book, I treat AI just as any new tool that comes in the market, because today's AI, and in a few years, AI is going to become something else and some new things are going to come. So it's not about which tool you have to learn, or it's not about that. It's the capacity. It's about that human capacity that make any tool work for you. And that's what this book is about. It brings back the power to you, that then you make the decision and you're not scared of any tool. You're just going to see AI as any other tool. So it goes through different stuff, it's to empower, but it's not an empty inspiration. The book is not an empty inspiration. It's going to be very grounded, and you're going to find practical tools that you can use. I am very, very careful with people's time, because I value a lot my time. And because of that, I value a lot the reader's time. And if someone buys the book and they decide to give the hours that it takes to read it, I make sure that every chapter has some value. It's just a personal goal that I have. I don't want people to waste time. So anyway, so I try to do that with this book as well. So I hope you enjoy it if you get it.
Yeah.
I hope that if you get it, you enjoy it.
That's awesome. And we'll be sending out a reminder, because this is her bestseller campaign. So, for some of you who have done those campaigns, we want to be able to really support and promote our sister members. So that would be a really great thing for her as well, to help her book achieve different awards and rankings. So, Patricia, you had a question.
Howdy.
Uh-huh.
So what I was going to say before is that with the way I use AI, I've got a few platforms that I use. I use ChatGPT, I use Claude, I use Replit, and I kind of put the information in all three to try and figure out the different scenarios it's going to give me. But I'm not very vague when I go on to AI. I'm very detailed. So what I actually put into AI is very detailed, and all I ask it to do is clean it up. Clean it up makes sense, because obviously when I'm trying to think of saying something, everything that's in my head, I just type it. And then I say, okay, these are my thoughts. Can you just clean it up and put it into more of a readable
paragraph. So I don't know if you saw one of my messages. I know with ChatGPT, there was a while that people were putting in read me to filth. So if you're using ChatGPT and you type that read me to filth in there and press enter, it actually analyzes the way you think, the way you actually use AI. If you're a procrastinator, if there's something that like you put in there, it kind of summarizes how you use ChatGPT and grills you about it. With mine, I think it came back to Patricia, there's nothing for me to grill you about because you're so detailed already. All I do is put shoes on it, and that's it. You give me the thing and I just put shoes on it. So it's quite different. So it's about how we're using AI and to make sure that we're putting as much information about ourselves into it so it knows how to respond. So that don't be vague when you're using it, be more detailed. And I find that it comes back and I mean ChatGPT especially and Claude know exactly what I'm like and what I say. So now that I don't have to be as detailed, but it's definitely learned my thinking, what I want in life and how I need it to be.
Thanks.
And yes, if I may, if you try to have it as teams, because you just said it, it learns how you are and it's going to give you more of what you have. So let's say when you hire someone to do your social media or to do, I don't know, an editor or to do whatever it is, when you need a person to hire, you're not looking someone because that person agree with your thinking. You're looking someone because you want the expertise of what is best for you. Because if you already know the data, then it's kind of bouncing back the same data, right? So the growth is like when you can take advantage of something you don't have. I'm not saying not to use it the way you're using it. I'm suggesting, like, if you have a business, if you have something else, there are other advantages that it has because it's about giving you and being supporting your business from a perspective that you don't have, from a set of skills that you don't have. And then you don't have to pay hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars to do that. Because let's say post video, even Canva AI, you can say, create a video. I want to do a post about this concept, blah, blah, blah. If you have Canva, anybody have Canva, you can do it in Canva AI, give you 8 seconds video. It comes pretty good. Someone will charge you $20, $30 to do that video when now you can do it yourself. And that there are many tools to do that. So that is just one example, right, that I'm saying. So my point is, it can increase, give you the same of what you have, and that's okay. Like, let's say if you're writing a book, if you're writing a post, if you're writing something that indicates, brings your personality, absolutely, 100%, it needs to be you. But if you are having it to improve your business, to almost like if you have a team, then you don't want to be like you. You want to challenge you, that you are maybe seeing something wrong. What are you missing? How can this get better? How my competitors are using this? What other techniques, other angle, give me another angle, another perspective to see this. And then you still are going to be making a decision, but you're going to have a much broader data to make that decision from.
Great, thank you. Patricia Overly has a question.
Hi, and well done. Congratulations on your book.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you. I wanted to know if y'all are all kind of using a subscription to it, or are you using the generic version? And what would the benefits be? I think it gets to know you better if you subscribe, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
It's not about that knows better. I mean, the data is a little more up to date. Like if you're doing research of data, if you use the paid version, is a little more updated, like, maybe a year or more updated than the other version that is common. There is also supposed to be a little better with securing your data. So when you have the free version, I don't think you have the option to set it up not to learn from you or not to share the learning with other models. So if you're going to be using really as a team, someone in your team for whatever reason, I suggest to do like the $20, whatever that is, more for data protection than anything else. And also, don't send your final writing or anything to an AI. Don't keep it until it's a draft, give it close to, but don't put your whole thing there. Because like in anything, they're hackers, right? And you never know. Once the data is there, like you don't want to, it's almost like contracts with lawyers. You can send a draft, but you don't want to see the final contract with your information, your social security, stuff like that. You don't want to upload that to an AI. So that's why, using like your judgment, like, get it closer, but don't get it to the point that you're going to copy and paste it out into something else like the final. I wouldn't suggest to do that.
Wow, that's scary. Yeah, Natalie, go ahead. You're on mute.
Okay, yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so very much, Rosa and you, Gil, and all this brilliant assembly. My question is regarding privacy. You just mentioned, your book. I have a book as well. And of course, I'm not a left brain, I'm a right brain. So I have difficulty promoting and business-wise, I'm kind of a klutz, right? So I use AI to reinforce my primary talent. And I would like to know, Rosa, what are the precautions that we can take in order to preserve our material, our work, and our ideas, because they are exposed, on the internet, once on AI. And I'm not so sure about that topic. If you had some teaching, it would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes, so in terms of security, there is settings. All the tools are going to have some settings. So you can go to the settings and there is an option that says not to learn from what you're asking. There also in the settings something that, give you like a temporary chat. So that means you can ask an information right there, but it's not going to save anything from your chat. So that in terms of security, I think is very good. I don't, I can refine things, but I don't keep anything final, and I don't get anything final from any AI tool, because of course I work on it, so I don't trust most systems because I know everything can get hacked. And the thing is with this tool, it's in the cloud, and like Claude, for example, they're not supposed to be learning from one chat to another. ChatGPT will learn from one chat to another. And if you don't delete those chats, so basically what happens is you can go and delete all your chats, but if you didn't set it up not to learn from your chat, it keeps the knowledge, like he learned from your knowledge, right? So you can go to the settings when you started, like it all depends. Like if you're doing posts, like for example, I have one that I said to behave as my marketing campaign for social media. And let me tell you, I actually went in Facebook from having like whatever. I wasn't even paying attention to that Facebook page that I did. And it's not crazy, but it went really like from 100. I have now like 2,700 from the Facebook page, right? And it is following, basically, I give the statistics of copy and paste of how the post is doing. I said to analyze it and it suggests what to do next. And based on the audience, what to do next. So in that case, for that chat, I wanted to save the history. I wanted to learn from the history, because when I go back to another post, I wanted to know that we try A, B, and C, didn't work. So I don't want to delete that history. So you see, it all depends. If you are writing something that is more, have, I don't know, personal information or anything that is final, then those you don't want to keep the history there, right? Like I say, I never like the copy and paste from one to the other. So, but check your settings of any AI tool, because the thing is, you have the option to have the AI tool to use your data. It's not going to share 100% your data to others, but it's going to share what learned from your data to others. So you don't want that, especially if you're writing a book. You don't want the juice of your book to be somehow feeding into other systems, right? So that's what I mean. So just go to the settings, any tools that you're using, and make sure that you unselect whatever default it has about learning from your data. And then also just don't give final stuff into it. That's a super precaution. It's not supposed to once you have enough learning from your data. And Natalie, I don't know for the specific purpose that you're using it, like it depends.
No, for now, I use it for relationship, to understand certain position. But what I wanted to know is if I delete a conversation in ChatGPT, so it's not accessible by anyone else or not? What
It
is
is
your
not,
take on
if
that?
you delete it, it goes away. But if you didn't set it up not to learn, then the model keeps learning from the conversation. But once
Okay,
you
yeah.
delete it, like you cannot recall it. Like if you say, remember what we did, it might not remember. It will understand the behavior. You see, it's like it understands the behavior of it, but it doesn't have the specifics.
Okay. That's extremely precious. Thank you so much.
It's
Okay.
incredible. We're gonna take another question, Barbara, and then Rosa, if you have any final words or anything you'd like to conclude with, please take it from there.
I was
So,
just going to
Barbara,
say,
what's your question?
it's not as much of a question, just as something I learned. I can't remember who turned me on to this thing called Poe, which is a third party app that has different bots inside of it. So it has ChatGPT, it has Claude, it has one called Assistant, it has a whole bunch of things in it. And I just started using it. But I didn't realize that if you're using a third party app like that, you can't tell it not to learn. You have to be working directly with, that's why I purchased the Claude Pro to work on the book, because I couldn't, if I used Claude through or through Poe, I couldn't control that. So it's just something I learned along the way. That's what I wanted to share. But
Yes.
thank you, Rosa. This was super helpful.
Rosa, do you have any final thoughts or anything you'd
Yes,
like to
I'm
share?
trying
I
to
know
get
you had
this
a
PDF.
handout. Yeah.
Yes, I'm downloading this one. And if you need anything, like you can provide my information. In this Hangout, that is my social media. I suggest ping me in social media. We can follow each other. We can support each other. Let me just open this one because I wanted to add some more information to this one.
Yeah, also
Okay.
you have access to Rosa through your members portal. You can direct message by just logging into your portal. You'll see Rosa's profile in there. It's a private messaging, no AI is following you, so nobody can see what you're saying. Yeah.
Can I add an attachment in the chat?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, do you have the link in there?
Not the link, the attachment, a PDF.
Oh yeah, go ahead, put it in.
Wait, I don't find the attachment button.
Attachment bottom
File,
at the bottom of
I
the
see.
chat file.
Okay, got it. Again, this is just a little something I was putting together. But if you have any question, just reach out to me. I know what it is sometimes to have questions to this, and I'll be able to give you the answer. And if not, I can point you out to someone or the right source that can, help. I imagine that not being in the field, this is an area that can be overwhelming, and it sounds scary because it sounds like magic is happening. At the end of the day, there is no magic. Everything is coding that learns and is specific to do different things. So if you have any question, and always remember, use it with judgment. If AI can give you something easy to you, that means that it's giving that to anybody, and that will make those people irrelevant. It always comes from using it to expand your value, using your judgment, your creativity, so you free out those tasks that you can give to AI, so you can use your brain for your creativity and come up how you can increase your value. That's really the power of this. Thank you so much. Thank you.